God told us to pray continually, and we actually believed him. Roughly 7 years ago in England, a group of young Christians took that question to heart and began an adventure in prayer that has since captured the imaginations of thousands of people around the world. The Australia Southern Territory commences a year of non-stop, 24/7 prayer on the 24th of July. Our year commences with a week of non-stop prayer at territorial headquarters, and then the prayer baton will pass on to the training college and continue on to every corps and possibly social centres, youth camps and conferences. In November, Connections 07 will have a designated 24/7 prayer room, which will run throughout the duration of the conference. I want to do real business with God. It's time to take God at his word. Let's stop talking and start praying. How can we complain that we do not see enough of God's power when we are so unwilling to pay the price in continued passionate prayer? In committing to 24/7 prayer, it will cost you. It will inconvenience you. It will involve you making time. But wait and see what God will do in and through you. What will the Salvation Army look like in July 2008? After 12 months of non-stop prayer? I can't wait to find out. Want to start a fire? Then teach someone to pray.
We've had people come in here that are not Christian, but are when they've left. Now that may take a few visits to come here, but to me that is the most amazing thing, that God can actually bring people here and they can leave knowing who he is.
They see healing, they see people being saved, they see people being restored, and that is a real feature of all 24/7 prayer.
It's not just a place of prayer or a vision or worship, but it's also a place where people in the community come to get help and to get prayer.
People who may have been Christians for years, just to think, I've never prayed like this before, I've never known I could communicate with God before.
When I first heard about it, I thought it was you sat down for 24 hours, 7 days a week and prayed, just solidly, sat on the floor and prayed. But it's not, it's like, it just shows you all different ways of praying. You can pray just listening to music, you can pray just looking at pictures. It just shows you all different ways you can pray, and it just helps you grow spiritually.
To try and tell other people about what 24/7 is all about when you're first announcing it, yes, it sounds really scary because they're thinking of all these hours they've got to work in a week to cover. But the benefits are just amazing because the connection that you have with God is just undescribable. And the time that you spend, when you've got that time slot of an hour, it just goes so fast. It's like you're in and you're out.
Try and make it accessible to all the people within your church. So whether it's the kids, whether it's the youth, the young people, whether it's the older people, try and make it something there for everybody.
And it's not just about sitting and reading a Bible or sitting and having your hands together and eyes closed. It's about being creative in prayer with God, and it's just amazing what people do.
Sometimes you don't have words to say, sometimes you want to just draw pictures or paint. And so when people are done expressing themselves, we encourage them to put it up on the wall.
You know, just dancing. I know some people lock the door and just like go to town and dance where they wouldn't feel comfortable doing that if anybody else is with them. It's actually a place we can flee to, but it's also a place we can advance the war, a place of intimacy with God, a place where we can lose ourselves to something much bigger.
As people have written their prayers down or painted the visions that God has given them and put them on the wall, when you walk into that prayer space and go around and read the room, it's just really encouraging and can also focus your prayers in a new way as well.
We see people walk out of here who've come in totally kind of full of problems and laden with burdens and guilt and you name it, all those things. Walk out of this room, walk out of this building, totally transformed. And that is the cutting edge of what the power of Jesus and the power of prayer can do.
And at 24/7 prayer, as I said, it's not some magic thing that you have to get connected into, but there's something about it that really seems to have the hand of God on it, and to feel that you're part of a worldwide movement of prayer is just really exciting, and you just feel like you're connected to something that God really has his favour.
If they can experience God in here and then go out and share that with other people, then we're on the right track. We're teaching people how to communicate with God. And that's really what we want to do, is to teach people to communicate with God, but go out and reach other people so that they can do the same thing.
It is the furnace room of all we do. It's the fuel, Holy Spirit fuel for the fire, the flame that's spreading through the city, and we trust through the world. You guys should start one too.